to my YouTube channel. In case you are new here, hello, my name is Zai. I am a new mama of 3. My 2 other littles are gone right now, which never happens, but I thought I would take this opportunity to film a little house tour, an updated house tour. We moved into our home about 3 years ago now. It was 3 years as of October, and I wanted to film this house tour for a couple of reasons. One, I was inspired by one of my YouTube friends, Emily. I'm gonna link her channel down below. I love her house tour videos that she makes, and she inspired me because I always thought that my house needed to be finished in order to film something like this. Again, we've been here 3 years. While there have been many changes to our home, there are still so many things about our home that are unfinished or even untouched. And so we are going to touch on that in this home tour. This is going to be a very realistic home tour. There are things that I have left out that aren't necessarily aesthetic because this home has children living in it. And so I thought it would be a nice change to share something like this with you guys on my channel. I love a good Pinterest home, but I also love to see a home that is lived in and looks like it. I'm also going to be sharing some before and afters of our home because it is so satisfying, even for me. Last thing I will say is I shared something on Instagram a couple of weeks ago, and it was like a carousel of photos of our home, and basically the title of it was just normalizing your home the way that it currently is. And I feel like that's something that we tend to forget, to be grateful for the things that we have currently, because we're looking at the future and future projects and things we want to change and things that we may be lacking, and we really just forget all of the blessings, all of the gifts that the Lord has already placed in our hands. And so complaining about my home is something that I try to never do, honestly. If I find myself complaining, I really catch myself and show repentance, because a home is such a blessing, and it takes so much time to turn a house into a home aesthetically, but something that doesn't is your just overall attitude towards the people who live in your home. That to me is the biggest takeaway, is while your home can look pretty, I want my children to remember how they felt in their home, not just that it was nice. So anyways, I'm done rambling. Our house is never this put together. It's only because my kids are away, and I can guarantee you that a lot of things are stuffed in closets and drawers because I wanted to take advantage of this time while they're away to film this, and I did not have time to clean the entire house. So again, done rambling. Let's get on to this home tour. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the front porch. Just another example of a lived-in home. We've got a ton of shoes out here. I'm someone who doesn't love shoes in the house, which is why you guys see this, but just an example of a lived-in home. I try to keep the front very simple. I added this basket over here. I thought it was so pretty. We're gonna go ahead and enter, and this is the first thing that you see when you enter our home. If you turn to your left, here is the hallway. Here are all the bedrooms. We will get to that later. Here we have our main living area. This was the first project I did when we moved into this house. I just started Pinteresting like crazy, and something about our home is that you will find lots and lots of pictures. When my husband and I started our family, or before we even had kids, he was active duty military, and so we were constantly moving, and something that our houses always lacked that we never really put the effort towards doing were putting pictures on the walls, because we were always moving. And so that is something that I told myself when we got a home, that I wanted to put pictures on the walls because that was super important to me, to us, and I'm really glad that we did. We have this beautiful barn door that was actually custom made by my father-in-law and my mother-in-law. They gifted us this barn door. She let me design it though. She asked me the stain I wanted, what color I wanted the hardware, and what color I even wanted the white, I don't know what you could call it, but it's that white piece that the rail is drilled into. Apparently you can customize it to whatever you want. She asked me if I wanted it wood or white to match the wall, and so I chose white just to match the wall. But this before, obviously it was just an open walkway. Nothing wrong with it. It was just this open piece. But because we have littles, this not only looks pretty within the home and adds a lot of character, but it's actually very functional in the sense that when one of my kids is napping, because the hallway is directly like in front of their playroom, it really helps limit the noise because this is a really thick door. Or if I'm making coffee or cooking, it just really helps reduce the noise so that they can continue sleeping. So while it's pretty, it's also very functional. A very underrated thing about our home is our front door. I love our front door. I love that it's not just like a wood door. It has 3 glass window pieces, and I just think that also adds so much character to our home, and it lets so much natural light in when the sun is setting, since it sets in front of our house. I just think it's so beautiful. I actually want to eventually paint this a different color. I've got projects in the works, but underrated. It's not something that you see in newer homes and newer builds, and so I just love it. I think it's underrated. It's one of my favorite parts about our home. And then above here, and then above our door, you're gonna see we have this beautiful crucifix that I just have to talk about real quick. This was a gift from my husband's sponsor when he got baptized. During the Easter Vigil, he got baptized and he was gifted this, and it is just beautiful. I'm gonna zoom into this really quick, but apparently on each corner of the cross, you guys see that there's those little like circles. You can't really tell what's in it, but apparently there's pieces of sand or rock from different areas of the Holy Land. So this is just really special and something that I wanted to immediately put right in front, right when you walk in. It's a little fun fact in case you're new here. We are a Catholic family. Our faith is something that is very important to us and something that I've been trying to incorporate within our home with adding more like Catholic pieces. Walking into our living room, I have this little side table that I got from Home Goods. I have a lot of secondhand and thrifted pieces. This is not one of them. This one I got from, no, I'm sorry, this is from Hobby Lobby. And I still love it. I think it fits this wall perfectly, especially when the barn door opens, but I just have it decorated with a few pieces. I have this olive tree that I have managed to keep alive for like 2.5 years now. Believe it or not, I got this at Trader Joe's. I get a lot of my plants from there, or I propagate them. You guys are gonna see that I have a lot of natural elements in our home, a lot of real plants, and I just keep it really simple here. I have a picture of my grandpa who passed away before we moved into this house. This is him and my son. Unfortunately, he was only able to meet my oldest and didn't get a chance to meet my other 2. So I have him here so the kids can always see him when they're passing by. And then we also have just a couple of things for our dog, our little Penelope. If you guys have been here since the beginning, you guys remember Penelope. She only made it here 3 months when we first moved in, and yeah, so I just have these things here to remember them by. And then this mirror is actually secondhand. I got this from an antique shop, and I just think it's so beautiful. So we have that piece there, and now turning around, we have our living room. Very simple living room. Table is purchased from Facebook Market, and I had no idea what I was doing, but I ended up like not sanding it, but I did this, I honestly can't even remember the method of removing the top layer. It was like glossy. I used this like spray that stayed overnight, and then I had to peel it off. I don't know, it's very rustic looking, which was the goal. And then I just decorated it with a couple of things. I propagated this plant. You guys are gonna notice I have a ton of terracotta pots all over my house. I love them. I've got some books from Alabaster. They gifted us those a while back. And then over here we have this giant television, which obviously this was my husband's idea, but it fits the wall well. Everyone says it fits the wall perfectly. If it were up to me, we would not have this giant TV, but hey, we gotta compromise. So, but let's talk about the like entertainment center, I guess you can call it. This was also gifted to us, actually from my father-in-law. Someone gave it to him and he didn't have room for it, so he asked me if I wanted it, and I thought it was beautiful. Again, like very rustic. It's not perfect. but it almost kind of gives off a little bit of a like Spanish or Mediterranean vibe a little bit, just based off these like details here. At first I didn't know if I wanted to make it lighter, but now that we've kept it here for some time, I actually do love it dark. By the way, as I'm filming this, it is winter time, which is why you see all of our furniture underneath our like little gazebo, because we don't want it to get wet as it rains. Normally it's out and it looks really pretty and put together, but right now it's tucked away. These sliding glass doors, however, were just a huge selling point for us. The only thing I didn't like that they did, which was I thought was so weird, is they have the screens on the inside instead of the outside, which I thought was a little strange. In case you guys weren't here when we first moved in. When we first moved in, we actually had this area as more like an eat-in kitchen, and we had, what we were gonna do is have the kids' playroom actually be a formal dining room, and that was very short-lived. While it was pretty, a couple of things. One, we just were not in that season of life when we moved in here 3 years ago. I still only had one kid, but we knew we wanted more. Kind of crazy to think that we have had two in 3 years of moving here. We had 2 more kids, but it was short-lived. We're not in that season of life. And even when we did host, nobody migrated to that area of the house because it was very enclosed. Here it's the main living space. And I just found that everyone that we would host always gravitated to this room, always. And we had like this little tiny round table from IKEA. But yeah, I just noticed that it just wasn't really functional, wasn't working over there. While it was pretty, it just didn't make any sense. So we have it here. This table is probably the one piece in our house that is like, it is the most expensive piece. Everything for the most part is secondhand or thrifted, like I said, or gifted to us. This one is technically gifted, but this was a new piece. This was gifted to us from my mom. It's from Living Spaces in Magnolia Home. I'm actually gonna move this chair. I have tried to look for this table so many times after we purchased it, and it was nowhere to be found. So although we got it from Living Spaces and we got it from, you know, Magnolia Home, I don't know if they just stopped making this particular table. This is what it looks like down here. But I cannot find this table. So it kind of makes me feel like it's one of a kind. I have never seen anyone else with this table before. Very similar tables, but not this one. But with that said, because it was a very big purchase and we have children, it has held up so well. The quality, these grooves, I guess, kind of make it hard for like us to color and sometimes do school. Like if we don't have a thick book, I have to grab something because there's like a ton of grooves on this table. So it's not really a complaint, but it's like something that I didn't think about when making that sort of decision and purchase. And here I have another plant that I propagated as my centerpiece, and this gallery wall is a new project that we just recently did a couple of months ago. It's something that I've been wanting to do since we moved into this house. This wall was empty for so long, and it actually needs some updating because we added a new baby, but I just have pictures from the kids' baptism, our wedding. So whoever installed the placement for the light fixture here did not center it to the room. So this will forever be off-centered. That's okay, that's okay. I just kind of learned to live with it. What I do need to do is bring down our chandelier a little bit because that extra wiring is bugging me, and it's a simple fix, but we haven't done it yet. And over here, this is one of my favorite pieces in our home. This was a gift from my husband's aunt. She is like Facebook market queen. She had this in her home. She finds these for free all of the time. So she actually found herself another one. When I came to visit her, I told her how much I loved this one, and so she gifted it to me, and completely for free. There's a couple pieces that she's found for me that are just completely for free, and I thought it was so beautiful and, again, functional, because you guys will see that our kitchen is not very big. So here I like to keep like our linens, I like to keep our pieces for hosting, and I also wanted to make this functional and add things that don't fit in the kitchen or because we don't have a ton of counter space. So again, adding more like natural elements as home decor. And then up here I have a picture of the Last Supper that I also found while thrifting. Do not think this piece is like an original painting. It literally says made in China on the back, but the frame is what sold me on it. We're gonna make our way over here. We have a baby gate right now, not even for a baby, but for our dog, because over here you guys will see we have the kids' playroom, and I was kind of just over the dog coming to the rug after being outside in the mud, so we're kind of just using this as a barrier for now. I don't know how long I want to keep this up. I really don't like having baby gates around the house. So here is our kids' playroom. I'll post some befores, but also some in between. Like I said, I used to have this space, like a dining room. If I can find those photos, I'll post those too. Over here, we have this armoire that was, again, for free. It was sitting in our garage though for about a year because I had to completely sand it. It was orange when we got it, and I do not like orange. So it took me a long time to finish this piece up because also mom life, you know? But in there I keep all the kids' homeschool supplies and extra like puzzles and games and things like that. So we got my son's little Lego table. He's super into Legos. I found that at our local thrift shop. A lot of toys are actually purchased secondhand, like that little barn, that train set, these baskets, all purchased secondhand. I even found this high chair that I just couldn't pass. I think it was like less than $10. And then we got some books for the kids, some library books, some of our favorite books that I like to keep on rotation. We got a little play kitchen. We got the little baby play mat for little Liam. But let's talk about this fireplace first. One, it works. It's electric, but can also be used with real firewood. When we first bought this house, I was a little skeptical about it because of the sharp corners that you guys see at the bottom, but also because the color that it was. It didn't come black. My mother-in-law actually painted it for us and surprised us. It was like this multicolored, not the cutest fireplace, and now that it's black, we don't hate it. We actually love this part of our home. Again, it's not something that you find in like a newer build. It adds so much character to our home. And then this wooden piece, actually also, they had it already placed here. My mother-in-law just sanded it down for us to this lighter wood shade, and I just added a couple of like homeschool things, more plants, some pictures. We've got our Mother Mary over here, this little doll that I got, and then no surprise here, we have another plant. But when I was gifted this Monstera plant, it was the same size as the one that I have on our dining table, and look at how much it has grown since then. All right, something I don't normally share because it's not pretty, but it's real. We have a lot of sliders in this house. This is a very old slider, something that I don't think we're actually ever gonna replace because we don't think that this is our forever home, and these are really expensive. Here we have the door to our garage where our laundry room is at because this house didn't come with like its own laundry room, so we do laundry in the garage. And then here we have our kitchen, which we've actually done probably the most work, I think. We got very fortunate because this kitchen had all new cabinetry. The only thing that we had to replace were the windows. I'm gonna show you guys a before. We had a like, I think it was called like a bay window here over the sink, and both our windows were cracked and broken and you couldn't even see through them. So we just got those recently replaced. Remember, we've been here for 3 years and we just got them replaced within the last like 2 months. We got a new light fixture recently. It's more like farmhousey. And then my husband replaced our sink and the faucet. We had that like divided sink, which I don't know why houses have those. I can't stand those kinds of sinks, but now it's just like one big open sink. I love our new windows. They make such a difference. You guys are gonna hear dogs barking. So sorry about that. Something that we did before moving into this home, or something that was a top priority, there were a couple of things. Paint was a huge priority for us because every single room was like a different color, and it wasn't just like a beige. They were really heavy like blues, and I think that was really it. There was like a lot of blue. The kitchen used to be blue. We painted that, and something that we didn't do day one, but again, it was like top priority, was changing out the ceiling fans. To all of the ceiling fans in our kids' bedrooms in our room, they all match. The only one that's different is the one in the kids' playroom. It's all white. Another thing that we prioritized were putting canned lightings. They're not done. We actually still have to put some in my son's room, and we actually really need canned lightings in our main living room because, as you guys saw earlier, it gets really dark midday in that area. In the morning, the sun rises there, but like midday, it's really dark over there. You guys can tell even now. Here in the kitchen, we've got lots of natural lighting. I also have the can lights on right now though, just to show you guys. But those like 3 things: paint, ceiling fans, the can lighting. Oh, another thing that we did that you guys will see once we reach the rest of the house, the entire home aside from the bedrooms, the 3 bedrooms, had hardwood floor. So we are not carpet people, especially with kids and with animals. We can't do carpet. It's also really hard to clean. So we got really fortunate that the whole house had hardwood floors except for the bedrooms. Those were the only places that we needed to replace, and then we did do that day one before moving all of our things in. So they actually had a couple of leftover pieces in the garage, so we just matched them, and my husband and his stepdad worked on taking out the old carpets. They also had cats, so there was like cat pee on them, and replacing them and matching the hardwood floor. So that was something that we did day one. Had we had to do the whole house, I don't think that would have been day one sort of thing. Which is hard though, because after moving in a ton of furniture, that would have made it really difficult. Some real life over here. We got bottles drying. But yeah, you guys can see we don't have like a ton of counter space over here. It's also, my kitchen's very much a work in progress. Having that hutch right there, game changing. Here I just have my sourdough starter and like my salt, pepper, olive oil, things that I use to cook. Yeah, I try to be smart with how I display, like what I display on these counters, because it's a very limited space. Okay, now we are going to head to the other side of our house, the second side of our house where all the bedrooms are at. Remember how I mentioned earlier there are spaces that are unfinished and untouched? This is the side of the house where you see that the most. The bathroom in our master bedroom has not been touched since we moved in. We haven't painted, we haven't gotten new light fixtures, new mirrors, nothing. We haven't touched it. That bathroom needs to be completely gutted. I don't really like anything about that bathroom. It is a project, something that we want to do hopefully this year, but we're gonna prioritize the kids' bathroom first. And then as you guys are gonna see the kids' bedrooms, I do wanna mention that we have had, between my son and my daughter, they have been back and forth between each bedroom. Our bedrooms are not very big. The nursery really truly is just a nursery. I couldn't imagine, we tried putting a full-size bed in there and it just doesn't work. I mean, you can put it there, but you literally cannot fit anything else. So it's gonna stay just a nursery. That is gonna be his room. I will take you guys there now. Our priority for this year is to get our kids' bedrooms in order. So my daughter's sleeping here right now. She's still in a crib, she's 2, but I also removed all of her things because eventually she is going to be moving in with her brother into this room, and we have a bunk bed here for them. So before I get to that, this was my son's room, and then it was my daughter's room, and we just had them back and forth. But you guys can see it's not like a really big room. So this is like really just a dedicated nursery. This is where Liam will be. And then I just have pieces that I need to get rid of. Like, I really don't use that rocking chair anymore. I don't know if we're gonna need this table anymore. We are gonna keep this dresser and that crib for the baby, but there's like no decor here. It's like just white walls, light fixtures. We got the can linings like I mentioned, but it's very boring in here, and we just have not prioritized making it fun for them and adding color. And so that is a priority for this year, is getting our kids' rooms looking like the rest of the house. So over here we have my son's room. My husband has not put the can lightings here yet. Let me see if I can turn on this light. But we just recently purchased this bunk bed for the kids. I know the bottom is so big, I can't imagine my daughter in it, but we did it for two reasons. One, if Grammy wants to spend the night, she can sleep with one of the kids at the bottom bunk while the other one's at the top, because we don't have a spare bedroom. But we did a full on a full, and then this is just kind of like what we're working with in this bedroom. Again, it's very much a work in progress. Don't really have much going on here. We're kind of just like storing things. Here's the kids' bunk bed, which we just got these new sheets. I have a matching comforter for the kids. It's like this gingham style in the Amazon cart for them, but I do love this bunk bed. I think it's really pretty. I'll link it down below for you guys. I don't have the beds all nicely made because I still, like I said, need to buy the comforters, but yeah, this is what an unfinished room is looking like right now. Both the kids' rooms are unfinished. Before we head into our bedroom, here is the like kids bathroom slash guest bathroom, and it's not terrible. Like, this bathroom is not bad, but there are things that we want to change. The vanity as an example, we want to like completely remove that, take this mirror down, add some shelving there, add a new light fixture. But we did add some paint. I added like some plants. Yeah, nothing much else. The paint made the biggest difference. I do want to take these floors out, but we'll see. And then walking into here is our bedroom. I am not going to get super into our bathroom. It has served us well in the last 3 years, but this is something that I definitely want to change. There's a reason I don't vlog in here very often. It doesn't get natural light ever, and we just have not touched it at all. Like, they left that mirror, they left that light fixture, same old vanity. I do not like these floors. They are so slippery. That's the one thing, like the kids, so unsafe. These floors, I don't know what material they are, but so slippery. And here is our room. So this is it's a good sized master bedroom. It's not the biggest, but it's also not the smallest. I used to have the baby's bassinet over here, but then I was realizing just like how little space I had in between to walk. So we have him over here right now at the end of the bed, but just a very simple room. I would like to, again, add some color in here, add some board and batten maybe in the future. At least for me, I always saw the bedroom as like a place to decompress or to take a moment, especially if it's been like a hard day or at the end of the day. Just a place like it's your own little safe space, your little sanctuary. And for a while we weren't really prioritizing that, and I knew before this baby came that I needed to do something about it. So while I couldn't do like big projects, I got some new pillows, I got some new bedding, added a picture on the wall, just made the space feel more intentional. So this is basically like the gist of our room. And then my mother-in-law gifted us this really nice rug. Arlo peed on our jute rug and we had to throw it away. So she had, I guess, more rugs than she needed, and she gifted this one to us, and I thought it was really pretty. And then our room also faces our garden area, which I actually really love, especially during the spring and the summer. It's so pretty, like when our plants are actually fully grown or ready to harvest. Yeah, it is nice having these sliders here. And then on this side we just have, again, like our TV. I do want to make this space a little more functional. It's kind of just like random right now. Like, I cleaned it up a little bit. It feels like wasted space, like all these little corners. Yeah, so future project, like I said. We don't have a walk-in closet, so we got to be very smart about like what we store, how much clothes we have. So I am constantly going through my clothes, making sure I only keep pieces that I do wear and not things that I don't wear, because we do not have a ton of space. It actually reminds me that I forgot to talk about our linen closet. I love our home, but the one thing that it lacks is storage space. So this is like the only storage area aside from like the closets in the bedrooms. It's our linen closet. The doors used to be white. We painted them black, And yeah, so we got to be really smart about how we store stuff. We got some scuffs here since moving in that we have to like repaint. I got these really pretty brass knobs. And then very last thing I'm gonna show you guys. I feel like this home tour is very long, very detailed. Don't know if you guys are gonna love or hate that, but I'm gonna show you guys the backyard. Just remember I told you guys that it is winter time, and so like all of our stuff is underneath the gazebo awning right now. Normally it's out, and I did do a backyard makeover video back in March that I'll link for you guys so you guys can kind of see what it looks like when everything is out and put together. But I still have to make a part 2 because we are not done. But let me show you guys the backyard. This was also a big selling point for us because there's a lot of space back here. Sorry it's loud, it's very windy today. Hey kitty. There is a ton of space. We have so many trees. We have a lemon tree, an orange tree, an apple tree, a nectarine tree, and a peach tree. So an abundance of trees. And then over here we have our garden beds. Although our dog has been jumping on them, I just caught him laying in that garden bed, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. My husband recently replaced this fence, and then we still have to replace that fence. Coming back in because it is cold. The animals are like, we are cold, but I had to leave you guys outside. All right, you guys, well, that wraps up our house tour. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did enjoy it, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, leave a little comment down below. Those things truly help my channel. Something that I really want to work on this year is having my audience engage more as well as myself. If there's anything that I need to do on my end to engage with you guys better, let me know. But for me, it's really important to have that in this community because making videos these days is not easy, especially now that I have a third baby. I've noticed just how it's become increasingly more difficult, not necessarily to film, but the editing aspect of it. I don't have a video editor. This is just me doing this on my own. It's something that I have enjoyed doing for years, but it has become more challenging the more children that I have. So I want to make it worth it. I want to continue doing YouTube, but that audience engagement is so important for me in order to continue. So if you guys don't mind sharing some love on this video. Battery's dying, perfect time. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I love you guys like always, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.